So here we are back on Audience Insights, and as you can see, this time I have the pop-up asking me to choose an audience. So I'm going to choose everyone on Facebook. Now the first thing that you need to do is you need to choose the country that you are targeting. So whichever country that you are going to be drop shipping in, that's the country you want to choose. So we have United States here, or I have United States here by default. You may have a different country in there by default. So to change the country, you can remove United States or whatever country you've got, type your country or region in here. If not, you're going to get the whole of Facebook, which is not what you want. I'm going to stick with United States anyway for this demonstration. The next thing you want to do is you want to choose an age group, because we never target all age groups. When we are marketing online, it doesn't matter what we're doing, whether we're selling from our own store or a blog or whatever we're doing, we always want to be focusing on a specific age group. It makes things so much easier. So hopefully you've been thinking a bit about which age group that you resonate with. That is normally the age group that you yourself are part of, but it doesn't need to be. I myself tend to prefer marketing to a younger age group than the age group I belong to. Now I am very familiar with these younger age groups now because I have done a lot of work targeting these age groups, and I have kids myself in those age groups. But if you're choosing an age group that it's not you, so you are not part of that age group, it just means you're going to need to do a bit more research. So to begin with here, I'm going to go for age 25 to say 35. You also want to choose a gender. So again, you don't want all, you want either men or either women, and you need to decide which of these genders you are going to target. Normally that would be the gender that you are yourself. So in this case, I'm going to select women. Now we also want to choose an interest. So we don't just want to go completely broad here. This whole age group, there are 25 to 30 million of them monthly active on Facebook, women between the age of 25 to 35. There are a lot of them, but we want to start narrowing things down a bit. So start thinking just a little bit, what kind of things interest you? Now, nothing's set in stone at this stage, and we're just going to be quite general. So I think for this demonstration, I'm going to choose travel, and in fact, maybe I'll just choose adventure travel. All right, adventure travel. Now we've got 800,000 to 900,000 monthly active people. Now, in fact, we do want a little bit more than that, because what we really want is a minimum of about 1.5 million monthly active people for our target market. So we can play around a little bit with the age. I prefer to go down a little bit on the age group rather than up. Now I'm thinking that I might go down here to age 20. Let's try that. And now we've got the 1 to 1.5 million monthly active people, which is okay. Little on the low side, but still okay. Now what we can see is that in fact most are, we've got 64% of them between the 25 and 35. Well, it's 25 and 34 actually. That's the age group that really dominates this particular interest, the 25s to 34s. Now, if you're wondering why I tend to go for the younger age groups, it's because they tend to spend more money online, they spend more time online, and they buy more online. So they are online spenders over offline spenders, whereas when you get to over 40 or 45 maximum, that age group, they not only spend less time online, but they are more offline spenders than online spenders, if that makes sense. I'm not saying that you cannot succeed selling to the older demographic online, but it is harder. Now, if we scroll down this page a little bit here, we can see the type of jobs that this demographic is involved with. So healthcare and medical services, they're 67% more likely to be involved in that industry than the rest of Facebook, so the rest of the users on Facebook. And we can see here that this is an educated group of people. They are 18% more likely to be college educated than the rest of Facebook, and they are 28% more likely to be grad school educated than the rest of Facebook. They are 44% less likely to be only high school educated than the rest of Facebook. So that ties in with the job titles as well, with healthcare and medical services, because that's professional. These are mainly professional jobs, and these guys, or these girls rather, are really quite educated type of people. So, you know, when you look at this interest here, adventure travel, this all makes sense to me, because people who are interested in adventure travel, they are forward thinking, they are innovative, resourceful, and they're bold and they're adventurous. And these type of people do tend to be more educated. Now you can look at location, but location is probably going to be irrelevant to you having an online business. Location is usually more important for people who have local businesses, local services, or shops, offline shops, that sort of thing. Now under activity, what we can see here is that this is an active group of people. They're active on Facebook. Ads clicked. This is an important one, because this tells you how many ads this group has clicked on in the last 30 days. And why is this important? Well, if they're clicking on ads, it means that they buy things. They're interested in buying things. So we've got 39 ads clicked on in the last 30 days. That's the average that these people, that one of these users has clicked on, 39 ads, which is a lot compared to the rest of Facebook users, which is 15. So the average number of ads that the average Facebook user clicks on in a 30-day period is 15, but this group is 39. Now promotions redeemed, it's the same as the rest of Facebook. Posts shared, they've shared 3 posts in the last 30 days, as opposed to the rest of Facebook who shared 2. Posts liked, they've liked 35 posts in the last 30 days, as opposed to the rest of Facebook, which is only 9. And they've made 18 comments on posts in the last 30 days, as opposed to the rest of Facebook, which is only 6. And for pages liked, this is a bit different. This is lifetime. They've liked 2 pages, where the rest of Facebook, on average, has only liked 1 page. So we know this is a very active group of people. They're active on Facebook. They are clicking on a lot of ads. So they are almost certainly making a lot of purchases online. Now the next thing we can do to find out more about this group of people, we can click on page likes. The top categories are travel and transportation. That kind of makes sense because they're into travel. They also like outdoors and sporting goods. They like jewelry and watches, and they like clothing, different brands here. Makes sense, it's the age group, 20 to 35 women. They like cosmetics, health and beauty, and the websites they're interested in, and women's clothing stores. Now here are the Facebook pages they like. EF, Ultimate Break. Let's check it out. Travel often, travel together. This is a travel page. Toby, let's check this one out. It's a clothing brand. And they like these other fashion websites, and they like Brilliant Earth. Now, what this means here, affinity, 150 times. It means that this group is 150 times more likely to like this page here, EF Ultimate Break, than the rest of Facebook. So that's a high affinity. We know that they really do like this page. And Toby, the fashion one, they are 75 times more likely to like that page than the rest of Facebook users. So right now we're starting to build up a picture. What does this particular group of people like? What do they spend their money on? So we're really starting to get a good picture built up about this particular target audience. Now, what does this mean to us? Well, first of all, if we were interested ourselves in the travel niche, we could create a store around adventure travel. But knowing all these things, all this information and data about this particular group of people, this is going to help us not just with what we are selling, but with the content for our Facebook page, which we're going to be doing later on in the course, with content for the blog on our store, which you have the option of doing, and we're going to talk about that later in the course as well. So you have the option of having an integrated blog on your store, on your Shopify store. And when it comes to the products to sell on our store, by knowing the types of things and the types of interest that this group is into, what they like, what they're interested in, we can make sure that we are selling the products that they are more likely to buy. Because when you think of adventure travel, well, you might think that's a small niche, but there are so many different demographics. So the male adventure traveler is going to be buying different types of products than the female adventure traveler. The 20 to 35-year-old adventure traveler is going to be buying different types of products to the 45 to 55 or 60-year-old adventure traveler. I hope this is starting to make sense to you now. Now, what we can do is we can stick with this audience demographic, but we can change the interest. So let's just change the interest and see what we can come up with. All right, so I've added parenting. So all I did was I went to family and relationships, clicked the drop down arrow and chose parenting, which is down here somewhere. There it is. So we've got a much, much bigger audience now. We've got 10 to 15 million monthly active people. We're still on United States. We're still on the age group 20 to 35. Now, what we can see with top categories, we've got health and wellness website, Baby Gaga. And then we've got baby goods, kids goods. Under products and services, we've got Fab Kids Baby Center. For the favorite writer, we've got Bad Parenting Moments, Media News Company, 90s Kids, Parents, Scary Mummy. So we can see here now there's been quite a dramatic change in the types of interest and the things that this group likes by changing the interest here from adventure travel to parenting. We've got a completely different type of person now, a completely different group of people. So let's take a look at the page likes. And the top one here is 90s Kids. And this one here, this is also about kids. We've got Target Baby, Pampers, Screaming Owl, Babies R Us. We've also got a bridal page here as well. This is a wedding Facebook page. So I would imagine that with this age group, there's a lot of them getting married as well, between the age 20 to 35. But right now we're looking at parenting. We could change this and have a look at weddings if we wanted to. So we can see a lot of information about this target demographic here in relation to parenting. There's definitely a lot you can do in the parenting niche, and you can even break that down even further. Let's have a look at activity. Now, these guys are even more active than the adventure travelers. We've got them clicking on 47 ads in a month. So much, much more than the average Facebook user. And we've got them sharing a lot more posts. We've got them liking a lot more posts, making a lot more comments. And the pages liked, that hasn't changed. The vast majority of them are aged between 25 and 34. Makes sense because the lower age group, which would be 20 to 24 in this case, because that's what I selected over here, they are not so likely to be parents as this age group here. Now for this particular interest, I would probably go up to about 25. Let's do 24. Yeah, 24 to 35. And that still gives me 8 to 9 million monthly active people. This would definitely be the age group I would be targeting. So if I was in the parenting niche, I would be targeting the 24 to 35 age group, and women, of course. If we clicked on men, just as a matter of interest, let's go for all. And there aren't many men at all. So we've only got 13% men and 87% women. So we can just focus on women. And on the pages liked, what you can do is you can go to these pages, 90s Kids. Let's open this one. And you can start to take a look at which posts get the most interaction. So you can see here, this has had 590,000 views. That's had 26 comments. That's a bit better. If you find posts with a lot of comments, that's a sign that, well, it's a definite indication that people have been very interested in the subject of this post. Often you can see promotional posts that have a lot of activity on them as well. So that's a good sign that the people who use this page, and we know that this particular demographic does use this page a lot, that's a good sign that they're interested in what that post was about. So this can help to give you ideas for individual products on your store. Now this post here is about a facial vacuum. It's had 19 shares, it's had about 35 comments. So this has had some interest. Now this is something that's in store, but I would be almost certain that these are available just as products to buy and sell retail. Minnie Mouse ears, so people are liking this. There's been 141 reactions, 24 shares, 36 comments. Paddling pools, again, been interest here. And see this here, whatever this is, it's had a lot of interest, 123 shares and a bunch of comments and 213 reactions. And it's some kind of makeup brush. All right, so hopefully you're starting to get the idea, and I'll see you in the next lesson.